quality sets made overseas are two of the top selling brands in stores. Each brand has different types of sets, ranging in price, and Wiscom is the most popular. The price for Wiscom set is $3,923. Sometimes you can find it on sale for $1,999. There are major differences between the brands. Wiscom sets are so they need to be sharpened constantly. It's 10 times better than any knives you've ever used. Just considering the guarantee and unique features. Most people would have thought cutlery at least twice as good as the best food. When something offers twice the quality, value, and lasts forever, we expect it to be at least twice the price. At twice the price, we're talking over $4,000 for a set of cutlery. As I said earlier, a homemaker plus 8 was the most popular set. Especially for everyone who expects to as with the basic that I explained earlier, they also have a 100%
and then you say that they have a basic.
The homemaker plus 8 set is only $12, which includes shipping. But most of our customers need to manage about 5 months to it's only $260 today and $8. So we don't have that Okay, we have a bonus where if you buy in your matching kitchen it's a teacher pack or super. So that's it. That's it. If you said no, then I would kind of if it's a price or not.
Okay, let's grab a seat, everybody. Grab a quick seat. Do me a favor, tell your role play partner, because we clap loud here. Give him a round of applause. Tell him nice job. All right, have a seat. Come grab a seat. Okay, cool. So I finally get to talk about two things, and that is the paid program, and we get to really pick out your best customers. And tomorrow I finally get to tell you about the bonus when you recommend friends to the job, and they can send you somewhere super exciting, super fancy, but not yet. Okay. You want to pull out a notebook and pen for this one. I want to recover the pay. Because it's really important that we service customers and we do what's best for not for us, but for who? For them. But at the same time, I want you to get paid. I think that's really important to know that. I know I've been pushing what's best for the customer, but part of the two objectives of training is for you to get financial gain and the experience. So this is just a review, but remember, you start out earning 10% on everything that you sell, and how much do you have to sell to hit your first promotion? It's like the second time we've done this. How much? Okay, maybe I'm confusing you. How much do you have to sell to hit your first promotion? $1,000. Now that you know the prices, how easy and how fast can you hit your promotion? First appointment. Sell a homemaker, signature complete. Who'd be excited to hit your first promotion in your first hour? How does that look in your resume? Now, do they know how easy it is to sell? No, people don't know that, but they know that, oh, you hit your first promotion within your first day or first hour. It's pretty positive. Remember, a big part of that is going to be here, your top 5. Now, it's also the hard way to do it. And I'm okay if you hit your first promotion the hard way because it still gives you a promotion. So hard way your first weekend is if you do your 10 appointments, you're completely average, you make 6 sales. The average order is how much again? 300, and that's the other way to do it. Okay? Technically, you only need 3 or 4 people to get a grocery bill of Cutco to get your first promotion. Can you at least do that? I mean, worst case scenario. So, here's what happened. I'm expecting most of you, if you follow what we teach you, you check in the way you're supposed to, and I'll cover all the final parts of your training to at least write up orders tomorrow. Most of you should hit your first 1 or 3 up to $3,000 in sales. You'll get 1 or 2 promotions, and by Monday when I see you at advanced training, when I see you Monday, you will have earned $100 to $400, like Janine, like Matt Fine, like who you saw on FaceTime, like Kayla, all like pick them, okay? 10% of you, for whatever reason, whether you decide not to follow the manual the right way or something happens, you might fall a little bit short, and that's okay, because then we'll fix your advanced training. And then I am positive that there will be some of you who will be off to an above average start the first weekend. That happens all the time. Adriano Diaz didn't do a magic number of 10, he did 14, and he ended up about $7,000 in sales his first weekend. So he made about $1,200 by Monday. I would say that's a little bit more above average. Okay? Now the whole point of you getting to these progressions is that by the end of the summer, this is our goal as an office to get every one of you to, regardless of how fast of a start, by the end of the summer, we want all of you to have been at your 4th promotion. Put that on your resume for the summer. Earn $2,000 at least for the whole summer, and be at dirty 30. My favorite, because for the millionth time, you can work part-time, but then earn full-time, or keep working full-time, and make big time. That's right. Now here's the cool thing. A couple other things that happen when you get to dirty 30. One thing that doesn't have to do with your pay, but has to do with your resume, is that you now qualify to be a top potential candidate for the Leadership Academy. That's our version of management training. That's where we take any students between 17 and 25 usually, no matter if they go to school in Vermont, if they go to UCLA, if they go down the street to Broward College. What we do is we have a program that's both virtual and live, monthly and weekly, where we're able to train students on both business, personal, and life skills. For example, how to invest, time management, budgeting, things that sometimes we don't even teach in school. Personal skills, like public speaking, kind of like Kayla. Overall organization. And things like life skill, like professional business dressing, healthy lifestyle. We have a fitness program. We have an affiliate with my brother who's a personal trainer. We put everyone onto a fitness program. It's really cool because we really want to see you become the best version of yourself. And people who sell this much for the summer are the first people we want to interview for that program. Because this program can take you next summer to be a branch manager, and you could be doing what Erica did after her first summer. She came back, goes to FSU, was still doing her management training around school, virtually and live, and the following summer she was running her own Cutco office in Fort Myers for 4 months. Who thinks it would be cool to put that on your resume? Right? And you can leverage that any way you want. For me, it was pre-med, and I wanted to run my own practice one day, and that's why I wanted to do branch, not because I wanted to be in business. But again, and this is our premier opportunity, I would say, for college students, and all the articles I've shown you at Wall Street Journal and Entrepreneur Magazine. This is our signature. Your resume is bad, whatever she said, and better than everyone else. This is that. That's why I want everyone to get to dirty 30. If you're going for a 10K fast start, I want you to hit this 10 days from tomorrow. That's the difference. Okay? And the difference between by the end of the summer and by the end of the first 10 days is how hard you're willing to work and how coachable you are, and number 3, how much you follow directions and best practices. One thing I do want to also add on We don't cover this until today, but when we cover the interview, this is the highest commission that you know of. We have bonuses that go beyond that, where by running a Cutco office and getting your career sales over a certain amount, we'll cover all the details later, including office sales, personal sales. This is why it encourages someone to be with us for a couple of summers. You can earn all the way up to 50% of commission. Who'd be cool with that? Yeah. So I want to show you the difference. You sell a homemaker. How much is the homemaker, everybody?
12.
Yeah, 12. Let's just call it 1,000. That's a lot easier for math. If you're brand new, how much do you earn? What commission? 10%. That's $100. Who'd be okay with making $100 on your first 1 or 2 or 3 appointments? That's not bad. If you're a dirty 30, it's way better. Who'd be okay with when you sell a set for people who have to cook, you make $300? This is where you raise your hand. Yes. Okay. But when you're here and you're making 50%, our field sales managers, it's $500. See, when you get to dirty 30, that's the part-time work, full-time pay, or full-time work, big-time pay. When you get to 50%, I would say, I call that's life-changing money. These are the students that in one summer, they'll come back every summer, and they'll just work just for the summer and pay their whole tuition for the year in one summer work. It's Robbie Manifest at Northeast University. This is one summer of working with us. They have enough money to put a down payment on their first apartment and so forth and so forth. So I think this just gets really exciting from an income standpoint. And I just want to point out whether you're below average your first weekend, average or above average, no matter what, we're going to come back to advanced training and we're going to be able to either get you better or keep you going high. So far, so good? Now, I want to put things into perspective with the pay. I think this usually is what last week, I remember this is where Kayla went, oh, I'm really going to work hard now. Let's say I want to put this into perspective. Just hitting your first promotion by Monday, I say it's going to be average and most of you should hit it. But I want you to know how big of a deal it is for you financially. I'm going to use, who's ever had an hourly job before? Just curious. And you worked one more time?
Worked all over, but I'll just say McDonald's.
Okay, so food. Where did you work?
Camp counselor.
Camp counselor, cool. That's also very common, very cool. High school, college student job. Babysitting, I did that too. Construction, okay. I'll use the food one because that's really easy. Let's say you're at McDonald's and it's your first day on the job and you're about to have your fast start with McDonald's.
Doesn't happen.
I know it doesn't happen. Okay. And I'm just going to use $9 because it's easy math. Let's say you make $9 an hour. Okay, great. You wish, right? Is that what you mean? $8.25. $8.25, okay. Because you look so good, you get 9 to start. So that you're at $9 an hour starting tomorrow, Luis, and I say, if you do a really good job of following the best practices of McDonald's, meaning you don't change the Big Mac, I want you to make the Big Mac the way it was made. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickled onions, sesame seed bun. And you do a nice job, and I just want you to make 10. Right? If you get 10 of those made the right way, you leave here on Saturday, you make 10 Big Macs. When I see you on Monday, I'm going to jump your pay from 9. Okay? Oh, let's do this. Let's say you're at 8. I'm going to jump your pay from 8. I'm going to give you $12 an hour starting on Monday if you just make 10 really best practice burgers. Would he make sure that he's following the instructions? Would you make 10 burgers?
Make 10 perfect burgers.
You make 10, 12, 14 perfect burgers, right? What if I told you, or if you did 14 perfect burgers by Monday? Instead of 12, instead of $8, I'll put you at 16. See, when you go from 10% commission to 15%, percentage-wise, it's the same increase as going from an $8 to $12 an hour job within a weekend. So can you see why it's worth it financially for you to work hard in the beginning, especially your first weekend? This is what Kayla did. Kayla essentially went from an $8 an hour job to 16 because she hit 2 promotions. And what Adriana did, he went from 8, not to 12, not to 16, but he went essentially from $8 to $20 an hour after 1 weekend. So the whole key is make sure you hit your magic number of 10, come hell or high water, 14 if you want to go for the higher numbers, and if you have any conflicts that cause you not to be able to do 10, just make sure you talk to me one-on-one so we can get every possible appointment in the schedule so that we do maximize at least your first promotion, worst case scenario. So far, so good? Okay. So with that being said, I now want to talk about your customers. Do me a favor and go to the sheet or to the page that has all your names and numbers, please. Mac customers. Someone just came in and asked you, what's the M stand for? They didn't know. What does that mean? Married. We can explain why married's better than single every time.
Two incomes.
Two incomes are one really good one. Okay, A's are 30 to 65. Why not over 65? Usually retired, unless they're top 5, which is who? Grandma and grandpa. And top 5 doesn't matter because they love you. Casa, home, means they own a home. Why? Because when you own a home, it means you make more income or money versus rent. When you have a Mac customer, that is the equivalent of an A-plus customer. That's like in basketball, if you have the choice between a 3-point shot, even unless you're a Steph Curry, if you know what that means, or a layup underneath, which shot should you take? Because it's a higher rate of making it.
Layup.
You should just shoot the layup. It's right there. This is a layup. When you show a Mac customer, that's like shooting a layup. And you don't start people farther out when they're just learning basketball. You don't start showing harder people to sell to when you're just learning how to show Cutco. That's why you start with your best Mac customers, your top 5. So your first weekend, I want you to show all the best Macs as possible. The next best customer, which is also an A- customer, these are MCs. What's the letter that's missing on this one? Which means they're probably older than 65. This is your grandparents. They're older than the normal market, but they still are married. They still own a home. Okay? If you have any Mac customers or any MCs, you don't have to ask me about it. You can just show them Cutco this weekend. You don't need to say, Jeff, this is a good, like, if they're an MAC or MC, set up an appointment to book your appointments this weekend. Okay? This next category, this is a harder one to sell to until you get really good, but they're great customers. This is an AC. This is someone who's not married. This would be me, because I'm not technically married yet, right? I have a girlfriend. At some point we'll be married, but right now technically we are not engaged. We're not married, or not married. So I'm an A, but I own a home. Okay, how many of you know someone that's really good? They're not married, or maybe they're divorced, or maybe, one of those two, but they own a home, make good money. Okay, would you say they're good customers? I would say so too, but for your first weekend, I really want you to focus on these. So here's my rule. My rule for the weekend is only Mac customers, only MCs, unless you have 1 or 2 really good ACs. You're like, Jeff, this is going to be like my top 5, top 10, and they're just going to buy because they love me, or it's a homemaker signature complete for sure. Then just talk to me, and I'll approve your best 1 or 2 if you need that. Everyone understand that? So do you need permission for these 2? No. But if it's these, just ask me. If I say yes, it's because I feel like, yeah, that's a top 5. That's going to be no problem. I said yes to 2 of Kayla's. But I also said no to 3. Okay? And I said no to 3 because these are 3 people who are probably going to be really good customers when she's better at the demo. So I told her, after your first weekend, let's hold off. And she did, which is good, because now she went back and sold those 2 of them, signature and incomplete. But she said, Jeff, if I had done that my first day or 2, I wouldn't have sold that. You guys see the difference? So if you have any exceptions, how many of you already know you have like 1 or 2 exceptions that are really good? Okay, just talk to me. If I say yes, go for it. If I say no, I'm not saying you're not going to show them Cutco. I'm not saying we're not going to sell them. I'm not saying they're a bad customer. I'm just saying not this weekend. That's all I'm saying. Wait till after advanced training where you have more advanced training. So far, so good? Okay. Yes, sir.
What about out of state?
Yeah, that's the same to me. If they're Mac, doesn't matter. If they're MC. Tomorrow I'm going to show you how to go through the virtual appointment. So, yeah, live or virtual is the same. Good question. So now, I want you to go through your list. And if you had to pick your top 5, we already know what the best top 5s are, right? People who will buy because they love you, or maybe they have a higher amount of income and they like to buy a lot of things, or they cook because they love to, or they cook all the time, they have a lot of kids. I want you to rank your top 5 people right now, and in order. Like put a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do your best. I'm not going to review and test you on this. For you, who would you rank as your top 5? If you want to rewrite it, I think I see Mike rewriting it, that's fine too. Just write your top 5. And if you already have your top 5, raise your hand so I know. Okay, Adam, give me, who's like number 1?
My parents.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Who's number 2?
My mom's best friend.
Okay, why is she number 2? Why is she in your top 5? And why is she going to buy from you?
She's like my second mom.
Okay, easy answer. Who's number 3?
My mom's other best friend.
Same reason?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's number 4?
My aunt. She loves to cook.
And she loves you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 5?
My single uncle who has a house.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what does he
so
do?
he's the AC.
Okay. And I'm going to ask her a couple of questions when we have to get to that part. And if she can tell me and sell me why he's going to be a definite sale this weekend and I shouldn't wait, then I'll say yes. If I'm not sold, I'll say, okay, just wait till after Monday. Okay, good. And we got the top 5? Good. Who's number 1? Miss Nicole?
My mom.
Of course. Who's number 2?
My dad. My parents.
Who's number? Okay. By the way, I don't need the permission on that one. If it's your parents and they're separated or divorced, it's
Well,
your
they're both
parents.
divorced and remarried, so like.
No, what I'm saying is, technically you have to ask me permission for that. If it's your mom and dad, I don't need permission for that. Cool? Number 3?
My aunt.
Same reason. Okay. Up here. Those top 5 people, here's my goal for you. Your goal and your job and your mission, if you can, is to try and get those 5 people to see your Cutco presentation before I see you Monday. That's the goal. In fact, Kayla did this, and I think that's one of the main reasons she sold so much. You won't get everyone because sometimes someone's out of town or they're not free to see you, but if you can get this done, this is how you get up to a fast start. That's the secret. Okay. You can mess up and still sell Signature or Homemade. Whatever Kayla's first appointment was, she was like, oh, that was awful. What'd they get? Signature. Okay? Why? Because they love you, because I want you to get confident. All my athletes, when you have the early season games, who does your coach usually line up as your first 2 or 3 games in the season? Which teams do you play? Yeah, the teams are you're going to win by a lot. Like I'm going to use football for example. You play the teams that you're going to win by 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's if you're being nice, and your starters are pulled out by halftime. Why? Number 1, confidence booster. Number 2.
I was going to say more rest for players.
Yeah, you don't want your best players to
Like
tire out, or even worse, get injured. Yeah. When you start showing people that are more advanced to sell too soon, your income gets injured. Your recommendations get injured. Okay? This would be like seeing your best 5 people. So let's make sure you do that. Those best 2, the best 2, maybe it's mom and dad or mom and aunt. Okay? If possible, again, some of you have different schedules, but if you can, try to make those your first 2 appointments. Try to play against the worst team in the league and then the second worst team in the league and win big, win big. And I know Kayla did that. It was mom and I think Aunt Joyce or one of her aunts. Okay. And then, what does that mean? Your number 1 customer, what do you want that to be if you can? I want you to leave here at 4:30 and go see your mom if you can. I want you to leave here at 4:30 and go see the aunt who said, oh, honey, Michael, Cutco, we're buying the whole thing. Come on over. Some of you have that. You have an uncle or aunt who said, oh, we'll buy. Go see them. If they said already, we'll get it, and they don't even know what you have, sometimes you have family members like that, that should be one of your first customers. Got it? Okay, now I want you to figure out who your top 10 is. So go now. I want you to rank numbers 6 through 10 so that you at least have the top 10 list. And if you just started this morning, so Gabriela and Jose, just to know, I know you haven't had a chance to expand your list. You're going to have a chance tonight. So they've had all night to come up with a list. So you're okay. Who's number 6 through 10, please? And if 6 through 10 was really quick and easy for you, you might as well go 11 through 15 if you have that many people. At least 1 through 10. You can go through 11 through 15. So, again, focus on your best people, top 5 this weekend. Ideally, you'll line up your best 2 people right after you leave here on Saturday. And the focus, everybody, eyes up here, magic number of appointments is what? 10. Now, if you're in a situation where, and some of you spoke to me, I've got something going on this weekend, we'll talk one-on-one with you, and we'll try to see how close to 10 we can get. You still might be able to even get the 10. Depends on what we work out. Just remember this. I'm so serious about 10. In fact, I'm going to do a contest, and I'm going to already start giving you some free Cutco ahead of time. Normally, the fast start goes for how many days? And you have to wait 10 days to get free stuff. So we're going to be giving away some Cutco. In fact, I'm going to give you the piece of Cutco that I think is going to make it easiest to sell, at least to homemaker every time. Anyone want to guess? What's the piece that we've already talked about that my mom got that you don't need it every day, but you don't have it in your kit, so when you have it, yeah, we're going to give away, and my good friend and colleague Matt calls this the Big Daddy. Okay? Who can tell me why having this helps you sell more homemakers?
It shows a lot.
Say it again.
It's a bigger products.
Okay, it shows one of the bigger of the knives. Number 2, is this an everyday knife or once in a while during the week? Once in a while. And that's the hardest one to explain by just using the picture. So I'm going to do a raffle tomorrow, and everyone that has 10 or more appointments by the time you leave here at 4:30, we're going to do a drawing. And who got it last week?
Janine.
Janine. So Janine got the Big Daddy. And ironically enough, she's already sold her first homemaker and galley and all the different sets that helps you sell. Cool. So far so good. You got your top 10, top 15. Now I'm going to cover your schedule. So here's the rest of training. We're going to cover the schedule, all the events in the first 10 days. We're going to put this to your actual training manual. 2, we're going to teach how to make phone calls, and then before you leave, you're going to set up your first 5 to 10 from here, another 5 to 10 tonight when you go home, and we'll talk to you and coach you through the phone. And then tomorrow morning during the training, you'll get another 5 to 10. So please turn to, on the schedule, page 25. Please turn to page 25 for me. At the top of the 3 columns, please put down the next couple of days coming up. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and look up so I know you're good.
Good question.
Does it have to do with schedule? Okay, write it down during the break. I'll talk to you on it. Please. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The way that we do the schedule, everybody, is like this. We always do it in order of Cutco, personal, and then your goal. Okay, so Cutco first. We do your personal stuff next, and then your Cutco demo goal. So let's just stick to the first 3 days. Saturday, tomorrow, I want you to write down 9:30. I want you to write down training. Tomorrow you have training at 9:30. I want you to put an arrow all the way down to 4:30. And I even want you to shade it so visually you can see that there are no appointments there because you're here and you've got something going on. So it should look like this, okay? Just like that. Perfect. You're welcome. Thank you. And just shade it in for me, just like that. You put some lines across, and I'm going to tell you why we want that in a second. Good enough. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Guys, eyes up here. Here's why we want this. We're going to go very slowly through the schedule, and it's going to take us about 10-15 minutes. After this, it'll take you literally 2 to 4 minutes to do this on your own. And once a week when you come in to give us your schedule, you're going to give us something like this. And we're going to discuss. When you do it with the shading in, it's easier for us to see your schedule, and in like 30 seconds we can tell you, okay, Luis, how much money do you want to make this week? Okay, you need 2 more appointments on your schedule. Eden, how much do you want to make this week? Oh, you could actually do 2 less if you want to do, or if you do those extra 2, here's how much you're going to make. Just a lot easier for the schedule. Tomorrow at 8:30, I want you to put high flyer meeting. Number 1. Okay. High flyer meeting number 1. That's tomorrow at 8:30. That's before the start. And I'll explain that in 2 seconds. So high flyer meeting number 1, that's at 8:30. Okay, eyes up when you're done. Perfect. This meeting, if you are one of these 3 categories, how many of you, I'll ask you later. If you are someone where you're saying, you know what, I'm going for that 10K fast start because I'm willing to work hard for 10 days for all that. And I want to make part-time, earn full-time later, or big time, maybe 5-figure club. I'm going to run a special workshop tomorrow that will, part of it is covering the schedule, what it takes, and how to hit the $10,000 fast start. Schedule. I ran it with Kayla last week, Janine. In fact, we had every single person in training except for one came to that workshop last week. Okay, it's optional, but highly encouraged because I'm going to teach you again the schedule. I'm also going to teach you how not to sell the homemaker first, but how do you sell the more signatures and completes. So if you feel like I have some good customers this weekend, I want to sell the 2 bigger sets, I'm going to teach that tomorrow. And the third thing I'm teaching is if you feel like you're low on customers, like friends and family, if you feel like you have a low amount of friends and family or would like more customers, I'm going to show you how to network and how to find more people to call. Okay, so if you're in any of those 3 situations, you definitely want to be at this workshop tomorrow at 8:30. Okay, bring your own breakfast, bring your own coffee. We start right at 8:30. Okay, and I can say this without giving you all the details. I promise you, those who come tomorrow will be very, very pleased and excited come Monday after your sales. Okay, because all the people that came were the ones who sold the most last week. So that's tomorrow. We end at 4:30. Because we end at 4:30, when do you think I want you to do your very first appointment? 5. Or if it's like farther away and your number 1 customer lives in Boca or Miami, maybe 5:30. So at 5 o'clock, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put an A and circle it right next to 5 o'clock on Saturday. And that's gonna be a little space where you can put the name of the customer you put, ideally your best customer, at 5 o'clock. Then, 2 hours later at 7, I want you to put an A. I want you to put one at 9. And then not everyone's going to do this one, but I want you to have it in case, let's say you have stuff going on this weekend where you need to do other times for appointments, or you're trying to go for 14 or 16 like Kayla, you might have the ability of someone who you know very closely, and you could do an 11 o'clock appointment for. So if you're really smart and think about it, who are some easy people that could be your 11 o'clock to fill in your schedule if you want? People you live with, or your really close best friend's mom, or your really close neighbor who you love and they have you over all the time. Okay? So I'm going to stop there. So this is all the Cutco stuff. Right. Sunday. Let's see. I want you to start at 9. Put an A. And every 2 hours, and I'll tell you where to stop. When you put 9, 11, 1, 3, 5 for the first 5 appointments. 9 o'clock, put an A. 11, 1, 3, 5, and stop. I'm going to talk about what if I have this graduation party, what if I have church, synagogue, all that. I'll cover that. At 7 o'clock, not an appointment, I want you to write down phone time, please. 7 to 8. Sunday night is the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful, amazing times to call Mac customers. Why? They're all home because they just finished the weekend, and what are they planning already? Next week. Okay. Perfect primo time to contact customers. And then afterwards, I want you to put 8:30. And then I even want you to have a late one for those of you that want extra appointments in your schedule. You can put a 10:30 there. That would be like a friend and family, someone really close. Then on Monday at 10:30, we have advanced training, and there's two of them. This is the first one, advanced training number 1. That's going to go till 3. So same thing like tomorrow. I'm going to backtrack. For tomorrow's awesome. We're going to teach you how to do the virtual appointment. We're going to teach you how to put the orders online to get payment from the customer. We're going to practice the full presentation. I'm going to show you all the prices and how to go to the other options for the customers. And then finally I get to tell you, my favorite part is I get to tell you how to push a bunch of buttons, recommend 100 to 200 more of your friends, and we're going to send you on a trip somewhere. And all you have to do is recommend people, not do a single thing after that. And there are other prizes associated with it too. That's tomorrow, okay? And then, of course, how to get recommendations. Advanced training, this is where, depending on how you did your first weekend, 10-80-10, this is where we give you those advanced tips. I'm also going to teach you how to call recommendations here. So how do you call the people that you were referred to, but you kind of know but not that well? Or if you have people who you know them, but it's been a while. It's awkward to call them. It's not like you're calling friends and family. It's just, it's been a couple of years or you don't talk to them as much. I'll teach you all those people, how to call those people on Monday. One thing I want you to write down here, at 8 o'clock, you write down Champions Club. It goes 8 to 9:30. Okay. If you are going for a $10,000 fast start or more, you're trying to hit VIP night, you want to make $2 to $5 grand, part of the program is that we want to be able to coach you daily. Not through your whole career, but just during the first 10 days. And Monday through Friday, we're going to have a series of workshops, and Kayla's been to them, where you're going to come in, and we're going to help you get a hold of customers before they go to work, and we're going to give you a workshop every day. So these are the people who are getting more and more training, like Kayla, like Ginny, and so forth. Again, I'm going to teach you more and tell you more about this tomorrow, but those of you that are considering a 10K fast start, there you go. Also, if you're not sure, but you're interested in hearing what it would take to go for a 10K fast start, I'm going to cover the schedule. So if you're not sure and you're in between, this meeting is going to also help clarify that. Worst case, you're at least going to learn how to sell a signature complete. There's Champions Club, and then after advanced training, I'm going to put a 3:30, and then every 2 hours. 3:30, 5:30, 7:30, and then a 9:30. So if you notice, first 3 days, you have the opportunity to get up to 14 appointments. That could be 15, 16, or 17 if you decide to do really late or really early appointments too. That would be like grandma who wants you to come over at 7 a.m. Or your best friend's mom who doesn't care if you come over at 11:30. Like, those are also options if you want to add those too. Okay, 14 up to 17. But what's the magic number? 10. What's going to get you into the drawing for the big daddy? 10. Now, if you have a situation where, Jeff, I don't think I can go for my 10, we're going to talk one-on-one. We're either going to find a way to get you a 10, or we're going to come up with a different assignment. The come hell or high water number, meaning like if you have 5 events you can't get out of and you can do the bare minimum, I need you to at least get 5 done, like worst case. Okay, just for this to even make sense, I need you to get at least 5, but magic number is 10. So that's Cutco. Eyes up here. So that's an example of doing all the Cutco stuff. Now, this is where you would do personal. So for example, let's say I go to church. Let's say I have church from 12 to 2. Okay? What I want you to do is, if there's anything Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and don't go past that, that's a conflict, or you have something you can't move, I want you to put it in, shade it in like this, and then when we talk to you one-on-one, show us, and we'll talk about it. If it's something you can move, okay, just for your first weekend so you can hit your first or second promotion, move it. Like, if there's a party tomorrow night and everyone's like, hey, come over at 9, we can get started with root beer. Where's mine? Okay. Right, and this is a true story for me. I went to the University of Maryland College Park, and that's a really good root beer school. If you know the right people, it's fun. And all my friends were like, come on over, I know it's summer, we're throwing a party, come on over at 9, we'll get started with the root beer and the checkers and the chess and the board games. I'm like, okay, and normally I'm there at 8 for the board games. In fact, I'm the first one tapping the board game. You guys know what I'm talking about. Checkers, right? Okay. But that first day of my fast start, instead, I said, cool, but I'll come later, like 11, 11:30. I only had one game of checkers because I knew the next day I was going to work really hard. And instead of going at 9, I went at 11:30. At 9 o'clock, I sold my first homemaker. I hit my first promotion. That felt way better going to the library than it did if I didn't do that. Plus, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they don't usually start to run anyway. And the party doesn't start, the board games don't start until you get there. Okay, you got it. What's my main point, but without being funny. If you have something you can move, either move it later or move it till next weekend so you have a big, powerful first weekend. I want you to have lots of confidence. If you have something you can't move, something faith-related or graduation-related, something, put that in now. You get 30 seconds. If there's anything, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If not, leave it open. Let's make some money. Okay. Last thing. So we did Cutco. We just did personal. What's the last one? Goal. CPG is goal. Cutco personal goal. So now, I want you to take a look at your schedule. Two things. Right here, I want you to put a 5 and a 7. I want you to put the dollar sign. Who should those customers be? Your biggest two. Your best two. Okay? Now that everything's left over, like for example, let's say I have Saturday night, I'm going to go hang out with my friends here. Okay? And then I'm not going to miss church here, and that's it. Now what I want you to do is circle the appointments you're going to try and book. And here's the cool thing. You only work when you're willing to work. But it's your first weekend, so what I want to encourage you to do is do as many as you can. If you're working like really part-time, at least get your top 2 in so you can hit your first promotion. That's what I would say, like worst case. If you're working in between, go for 3. And then whatever number you circle, at the top, where's the goal? At the bottom or top? Bottom. At the bottom, I would put 3 next to goal. And then here for church. Well, I'm not going to do an appointment here, and let's say I'm not willing to wake up that early. I was, but let's say you weren't. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have an aunt that I could see at 5. There's 5. And then here, let's just say I'm willing to do all 4. There's 12. Okay? So I want you to do that for each day. Circle the ones you're looking to book. Again, if you're really part-time, get at least these 2 and 2 good times here and 1 or 2 good times here to get at least your minimum of 5 to 6. If like you're super part-time. If you're all out, get 10 or more. If you have any questions, write them down. We're going to walk and talk to each of you one-on-one anyway. Okay. So each day, if I found your schedule on the floor, I would be able to say, this is when they have conflict, and this is the appointments they're going to book. And that's the number at the bottom. Just for the first 3 days. Okay, if you're done, look up so I know. What's your total?
14.
14, okay, so all out. Cool. Not everyone's going to be all out, but I figured, based on what we were talking about. Miss Eden, do you have your number yet? I'll come back to you.
Still thinking.
Okay.
12.
12, okay, so magic number. Number?
I don't have one.
Okay, so we'll come back to you. Who's got your number? 13, okay. Gabriela? 10, perfect, magic number. If you have a number that you think is going to be less than 10, look at me real quick. If you think it's going to be less than 10, then just talk to us one-on-one. We'll work out a different assignment. But if you can, I'm telling you, that magic number 10 is important. So this will help us talk to you about it. And everyone to take one of these sheets, please. Kyle, we need one of these half sheets, please. The sheet is going to help Pao and I come up with your goal and help you set your schedule. Do we have enough? Oneness, okay, we'll get to that. At the top, please print your name clearly so we can read it. Please print your name clearly. Cell phone number. Then it says number of Mac customers. I want you to count, and it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Give me a range. About how many Mac customers do you have either phone numbers for now, or you know you can get the phone numbers up. We'll go through your list real quick. If it's 10 plus, if it's 100 plus. If you have a directory that you just don't have yet, but you know there's a certain amount in there. Dominic, we're getting that sheet, okay? You got one coming. You're welcome. Okay. May I borrow your sheet? Okay. And then here, it says all out, part-time, and in between. If you know, hey Jeff, I have nothing going on my first 10 days. I want to know for the fast start only, not for after fast start, but just for your first 10 days. Are you willing to go all out, like you're definitely in for the coaching and want to go through that? Are you part-time, because you have so many things going on and you're going to have to work part-time with us, that's totally cool. Or if you're in between, like you're not part-time but you're not all out, you can circle in between. Or if you want to go for a 10K fast start, but you have like 1, 2, or 3 events this next 10 days that you might have to work around, then circle in between and we can talk about it. And for example, a lot of you I know have graduation. That could be an in-between, but we can still help you hit 10K fast start. That's not a problem. Just Dominique. Thanks, pal.
Thank you.
So circle which one so we know. And then at the bottom, put the number of appointments for your goal for each day. In this case, for example, Nicole has 4, 7, and 3 for a total of 14. And then when you're done, look up, and I'm going to give you one last thought, and then we're going to take a quick stretch, and we're going to wrap up this last part. Okay, let me get eyes real quick. If you circled all out, okay, number 1, I'm really pumped to coach you, because I'm going to be coaching you a lot. Pal and I will be coaching you. And this is our goal in 10 days. I'll see you tomorrow, because I need to cover the schedule, what to do, how to do it, how to get more customers, etc. If you circled in between, that just means you might want to go for a 10K faster. You're just not quite sure yet, and you might have a couple of conflicts. I would like to see you there, and I think here's why you need to be here tomorrow at 8:30, because I'm going to show you the full schedule, what it takes, so you'll know for sure if you got what it takes or if you have the schedule. And it's also going to help you get more customers and sell the bigger sets. And if you put part-time, everyone who put part-time last week still showed up tomorrow at 8:30 because they all learned how to sell signatures and completes and it paid off. Okay, so really, who should be there tomorrow at 8:30?
Everyone.
Okay, and here's the funny thing though. Not everyone will be there because someone always hits snooze. I'm serious. Actually, no, I take that back. Last week, no one hit snooze. One person just told us they weren't coming because they had something. But everyone came, and what an awesome training group. Our training group was one of the top training groups in the whole country last week, including Kayla, including Ginny. Okay, got that so far? All right. That check-in time, I want you to write down, we get out of here at 7. I want you to write down what time how long it takes you to get home and what time you should be able to get home by if we get out of here at 7. We might get out a little early, but if we got out right at 7, what time would you be able to get home by? What's the soonest?
Where do we rate that?
Wait,
Where it says check-in time.
why do we have to be like at home? Does that make sense?
Oh, no, okay, I'm going to cover why in a second. Because when you go home, we're going to have you get your next 5 to 10 appointments. So if you have something to do and you're going to be home later, we don't want to call you for doing something.
Like I'm babysitting, so you can call me.
Just put down just put down babysitting what time you get there, I guess. That's easier. Good point. And when you're done, you're going to pass it to your right, so Pal can collect them and organize them. Okay. Let's do this. Before we go to break, let me just finish the schedule. This is a lot faster, okay? So quickly. Turn to the next page, please. Well, after this, we'll take a break and we'll wrap up last part of training. Next page is page 26. At the top, it's got 4 columns. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, please, at the top. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the top. So Tuesday, for those of you that are going to be getting coached for 10K, Champions Club is 8 to 9:30 all the way through Friday. So Tuesday through Friday is Champions Club. This is where, again, we come in, we help you get more appointments with moms before they leave for work, and then we give you some instruction to help increase your sales.
So from 8 to 9:30?
Yeah, yes, sir. 8 to 9:30. I have beautiful handwriting. I know that sometimes hard to read. Okay. Then, this is for those of you that qualify. From 11 to 3, this is the meeting that Kayla was talking about that she earned. It's called the SLDM. It's the Sales Leadership Development Meeting. What I'm going to do there is all the tips that I gave, all the techniques that I use to be the #1 rep in the whole country. I'm going to be teaching a few thoughts here. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about advancement for those of you that are even somewhat interested in Leadership Academy, management, earning a spot maybe as a branch manager. That's the first step into getting into that. You have to be at least 1,000. Because if someone's not at 1,000 by then, they probably haven't been following the directions very well. Or they need some help. So that's 11 to 3. And then I want you to put down your first appointment. 3:30, 5:30, 7:30, 9:30, and you, of course, if you knew someone, friend or family, you could do an 11:30 for someone really close to the family. So CPG. Okay, so that was Cutco. Now you can do your personal. So let's say you have something planned with mom at 5:30. Okay? But you are willing to do this one, and this one. Not that one. That would be 3. So do that for me real quick. With anything personal. If you're completely open, just circle all 4 or 5, depending. We got making appointments. Advanced training. Now advanced training number 2, Wednesday. This is the last one. This is at 4:30. Till 9. This is advanced training number 2. And just like before, if you're in the low 10%, we'll be able to increase your sales and number of recommendations. If you're on the high end, we'll keep you going high, and then everyone in between will give you the appropriate training. This is also where Pao and Daniel will teach you how to get better at talking to customers on the phone and be more efficient. 4:30 to 9. Okay, just like over here. And then, Luis, this one's for you. Right after that, you get to meet the whole team at the Wednesday team meeting. And this is where we give recognition. If you're doing the job right and you're over 1,000 minimum for the week, we give you some major recognition during that session. And afterwards, we do instruction, meet and greet, and we usually do a team night, either somewhere to eat, indoor soccer, outdoor basketball, dodgeball, which I don't love for many reasons, but sometimes dodgeball. But my favorite, bowling.
Those are on Wednesdays?
Yeah, right after the meet, we usually go out. And not everyone, it's not mandatory to go out with us, trust me, but most people go. Yes, sir.
For 5:30 on Tuesday, when's that?
I just put if you had something, like with mom.
Oh, okay.
Like if you had something personal.
Okay.
All right, and I'll just put team night. Team night, team fun. And again, it's not mandatory, but I would say the majority of our team's usually there. So now go backwards. 2:30, put an A. 12:30, put an A. And 10:30, put an A. And same thing. If you have anything personal going on here, let's say, and then you circle the ones you can do, put the goal at the bottom. Same routine. It's getting easier, faster and easier. On Thursday at 6 o'clock, I want you to put phone time and a big question mark till 9, and I'll explain that in a second. Phone time 6 to 9, and I put a question mark because you might not need that. It's only if you're empty on the spots you need to fill. So,
what if we're empty but we can't come to that?
what's that? We'll talk one-on-one. If you have any exceptions or whatever it is, we're all going to work one-on-one. 6 to 9 p.m. If after advanced training and the team meeting, your appointments aren't booked for the weekend, then a lot of our students will come in for another gym session, if you will, and do it from the office so they can be in a more motivated environment and they're able to book off the rest of their appointments. If not, you're free to do appointments. Let's just go backwards. 4, 2, 12, and 10.
Thursday?
Yes, sir. And Pao, can you walk around, please? Make sure everyone's okay. See if anyone needs help. And as we have bigger trainings, we'll have ideally one more person also. Friday, I want you to start at 10, and there's no functions whatsoever. In fact, the majority of your training in the office is done. Now it's just a matter of putting it to use for a big second weekend. So not 10 o'clock, and you can just go all the way 10. This is Friday. 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 7 potential. So circle the ones you're looking to do. Let's say you have late night plans here. There's 6 at the bottom. The only thing I'll add for Friday is if you are all out, 10K fast, so this is for Nicole and anyone that's circled all out, or if you're in between and you're not sure, Friday I'm going to have an extra session at 4:30, which is the high flyer number 2. That's 4:30 to 6:30 on Friday. That's if you're all out or you're in between. On Friday, we have a session, one last session to get you ready for the big weekend, 4:30 to 6:30. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? I'm not going to have you fill it in, but as long as they're all 2 hours apart, we have all Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to finish off your fast, except for one thing, and who knows what that is. What happens on Sunday?
Phone call and meeting.
Yeah, your PSP paycheck schedule phone meeting, meaning the meeting you come to where you have any orders that haven't been put in, we put those together, we see what type of paycheck you want to earn for the next week, you give us the schedule, and then if you want to, you can either come with your appointments already booked, or you can book the appointments right after and stay and do it from the office. That's going to be Sunday. That quick meeting is from 5 to 6. I just call it the paycheck meeting on Sunday. So when you come here to this meeting at 6 o'clock, if your appointments are already booked, you get out of here. If you want to, some people will just come, they'll bring their dinner, and they'll just do their phone time from here so they get it all done productively. Okay. So before we go to break, here's one thing I want you to notice. Okay. In your first 10 days, you are either in here or talking to us a lot. Everyone see that? I'm going to make a point I made yesterday. This right here, that all the schedule took us about almost 20 plus minutes. Now you should be able to do this on your own every week when you come here Sunday in about 3 to 5 minutes when you get here. Like literally people will come in, that's why it's 5 to 6, because people arrive, we have a meeting, they fill out their schedules, they meet with us, the meeting takes 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for each of you. You meet with, 15, okay. I talk faster, I guess. 10 to 15 minutes, we cover your schedule, and you're good to go. This is not the job, this is your training. Once the training is done, Wednesdays and Sundays, that's it. You see that? So this is not the job. This is the job, and then appointments whenever you choose to work. But why am I giving you all the potential appointments? Because in your first 10 days, what do you have that you can shoot for? What's it called? 10K faster or period, just the fast start contest. Okay? All right, nice work. It's 4:46. Let's take 5 this time because I want to get out early tonight. Is that cool? So I have 4:46, about 4:50. All right, let's take 5.